This is the Experience Pros Radio Show. Got an opinion or want to ask us a question? Email radio@experiencepros.com or message us on the Experience Pros Facebook page, and we'll interact with you live on the show.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Experience Pros Radio Show. We do want to interact with you live on the show. You know we film this over to Facebook Live. You can leave your comments there. You know that diamonds are a girl's best friend, right?
Sure.
Do you know what a man's best friend is?
Isn't it a dog?
It's a dog.
It's a dog. Okay. All right. Well, last weekend, we were able to honor all of our veterans who served in the United States military as part of our annual observance of a Veterans Day. But one of the things that we don't always focus on is that most of our veterans are dealing with, or many of our veterans are dealing with the effects of PTSD after being wounded in combat or witnessing the horrors that take place on the battlefield. It's estimated that anywhere from 11 to 20% of combat veterans suffer from PTSD, but companionship is among the treatments that can help those who suffer from PTSD, particularly the companionship of a service animal trained to support those who suffer. So PTSD service dogs can change the life of a veteran or somebody who is suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. Our guest is Karen Nixich. She actually has written 3 books on dogs and volunteers for Love on a Leash with Maddie, a therapy dog. The service dog is specially trained to do work or perform tasks that pertain to their handler's disability. You can find her online, more information at pet-angelreader.com. Karen Nixich, welcome to Experience Pros.
Hi, it's nice to meet you.
Karen, it is nice to meet you as well. What are the types of things that dogs can do to help veterans who are dealing with PTSD?
Well, there's 3 different types of dogs. There's the assisted service dog, emotional service dog, and then a social service dog. And the most common service dog there is the assisted service dog. They have been trained to turn on lights, open doors, retrieve. They can alert veterans or people. If they're going to have a panic attack, they know about an hour ahead of time before the veteran knows.
Wow.
Which I thought was really interesting.
Yes.
They can detect food allergies that the vets may not be aware of. And all of these dogs are trained specifically for the intended person that's going to get them. So you can take any dog. All the dogs that I've had in my life are rescue dogs, and they've been trained to be therapy dogs, which are different than service dogs. But we do the exact same thing. If you can't afford a service dog because they're very expensive, you can call a therapy dog team like Love on a Leash. They're nationally accredited, and we can come to the veterans and help the veterans with getting back out into the world. We go once a week in our community to the VA center when all the veterans are there with a team of dogs. And it's a very sad environment.
Sure.
Because they're either frightened or angry or just numb. And the presence of a dog helps these men or women reconnect without any fear of judgment or misunderstanding. And Maddie, my therapy dog, I dye her tail pink for a lot of different reasons. But the reason I dye it pink when we go into the VA is I always get a reaction from one of the veterans saying, "Why in the world would you dye a dog's tail pink?" And that just starts a conversation right there.
There you go.
And I explain to the veterans that it's dyed pink because I support the cancer center, and I go there once a week, and I get different requests for the color of her tail depending on the type of cancer it is. But after we begin talking, they tell me about dogs that they had. They talk about fishing. They talk about good things. And we never discuss anything that has to do with war.
Sure.
Because we're simply there as a support to the veterans to help them relax, to calm down. And it's just a very powerful experience when you see a team of dogs.
Absolutely. Karen, I need to interrupt for just a second. I got to ask a quick question here. Is it possible for the veterans' own personal dogs to become trained to become their PTSD service dog?
Well, it's very expensive. To become a service dog, it's a 12-month to 15-month program, and they have to get certified first with it's called the Good Canine Citizenship class. That's what Maddie took, the first class she took to be a therapy dog. And then after that, they go into extensive training for whatever the disability would be. Or you could have your home pet trained by a professional trainer, and that can run anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000.
Okay, so but it is possible then to go do that, to have somebody, a trainer, come in and have the dog that we already own be trained.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
But the one thing that you really need to consider is, it's very expensive upkeep for a dog, and with the dogs with Love on a Leash, we have an insurance waiver on each of the dogs. So Maddie has an insurance waiver of $1 million. So if I go into a hospital, and she never would do this, but if she bit somebody, that's something that we need to consider. With therapy dogs, they have to be that well trained that they're able to walk through a grocery store without biting people or barking.
Or grabbing the steak.
Or grabbing the steak, exactly. And there's a lot of fake service dogs out there because you can purchase a fake service dog vest online, which is really doing a disservice to all the service dogs that have taken the training.
Now, why is it so easy to buy a service dog vest for online for a dog that hasn't actually been certified?
A lot of people say they have emotional.
But that's not a service dog, right? An emotional support dog. Isn't that different than a service dog? I mean, it sounds very different the way you describe it.
They claim that they have anxiety attacks going into grocery stores, going into restaurants. And so they take these dogs into the grocery store with the fake vest, and the managers of the stores can't say anything because if they see a service vest on a dog, they're allowed in the building. But what they don't realize is these dogs, and I can say I've witnessed this at my local grocery store, have bitten people, have barked on people, have defecated in the aisles, have gotten out of control.
Right? They take them on airplanes too.
Yeah, it is a big problem. Listen, Karen, we're going to run out of time. So here's what I want to do. Where would you like our listeners to follow up with you to find more information about PTSD service dogs?
Well, there's several different organizations.
Just going to need one.
Probably the best one would be the Association of Professional Dog Trainers or the American Kennel Club.
All right. The Association of American, say that again.
Dog trainers.
Association of Professional Dog Trainers.
Or the American Kennel Club.
Okay.
Nikki, Karen, thank you so very much for joining us. I apologize. We ran out of time.
Valuable conversation.
Absolutely.
And we really appreciate your time today.
Folks, don't go anywhere. More positive business talk just ahead. You are listening to the Experience Pros Radio Network.
The Experience Pros.